That is not what it's supposed to look like. Again, this is a motor, completely stock. I didn't do anything.
Okay guys, I'm just going to put something in here really quick. Towards the end of me building the motors, there is a week of footage that I cannot find. I'm not sure what happened to it, what SD card it was on or whatnot, but I cannot find it. So after me putting the motors together, and then you'll see a clip of a broken piston, there's footage in between there I just cannot find. So I'm just picking up where I did find it. Thanks guys, enjoy.
Oiling holes, so we're all cleaned up. I'm gonna put it on, I'm gonna measure it, and we're gonna get ourselves a ramped piston for the transmission, not the exhaust. The exhaust is more than good. Okay guys, new problem. I'm using my original YD100 crank. Nothing wrong with the crank. Crank is in good shape. The slightest bittiest amount of play in it. Like, barely noticeable. Probably only notice it on a, I don't know, whatever those little measuring things are with the little needles. So, the piston that came out of this motor is this one. The piston that came out of my motor with the crank I'm using is that one. As you can see, that does not work. Now I really like having the new wrist pin, or you know, the larger wrist pin, the larger wrist pin bearing, but that doesn't help me in the least bit as of right now. But I do have a brand new piston sitting here. I'll probably use the old rings because I don't want to have to break in new rings, and I'll just save on these. Alright guys, something I just noticed. Because I was looking, I'm going to have to ramp this piston. But I was just taking a look and I'm like, man, the meat on top of this piston is much thicker. Except, look at this. This piston is lower. So I might not have to ramp it as much. Also, what I noticed first, look how much thicker the top part is than this part before the first ring. So the rings are a little lower down. I don't know, I feel like this might be a better off piston. The overall shape is less too. I have a feeling, because look at this, is lower to begin with, so my squish is going to be even worse than it already was, because it was already really bad. It was already over a 1.3 millimeters about. I bet that this is close to 2 millimeters, my squish. That means I'm going to have to take off almost this entire lip with no base gasket, just to get the quite a bit of work left to do. Oh well, I did drill out the holes, but I'm gonna have to put it back on the degree wheel and see how it looks, to be honest with you, because it's definitely gonna be different. Alright, I didn't finish sand it, but this is what we got for the rampage. I got it going towards the intake. It's only maybe a millimeter at the very edge, and then I just taper it in so it looks smooth. I don't want to go a lot, obviously, and a millimeter, honestly, at this stage would probably change it and get me easily, because it's at 31 to blow down. I think I'm going to be around 28, 29. I'll obviously know more once I get her all done, but as it sits right now, I think I'm good, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do final sanding. I'm going to get my barrel on, and I'm just going to go around and clean everything up. So I got a piece of sandpaper clamped to my table with not the appropriate clamps, but they're basically working. I'm surfacing the deck of the cylinder. I put it in my vise, and I used a fairly rough file at first to get it down a good portion of the way, and now just trying to get out the last of the deep scratches right here. And once I get them almost all the way out, like basically a couple passes left to get them out, then I'll switch my sandpaper to finer and even finer still, and then I'll be good. Ooh, new video went up. Let me check the comments. Ooh, do it yourself dark matter. What's up, bud? Tomorrow's Saturday, the 2nd, I think, and 2nd of October. I would bet when you see this, it's going to be November, say, 3rd. I have no idea if that's true, but we're guessing. I'm about a month behind on my videos, like I always tell you. So I'm going to finish this up today and get her all sealed up and put it on a bike and watch it blow up. No, hopefully not. All in all, I think we're really good. I just got to take it apart, and I need to, one final cleaning. I'm going to put the case gasket in. I'm also going to use a little ultra gray on it, because this is a gasket that I actually made. the one I'm going to be using. I made this gasket, so it's a little thinner than your standard factory gasket, so I'm going to use a little ultra gray on both sides with my paintbrush wherever I went. Just spread a real thin little layer on there just to make sure it seals up good. I don't expect it to be an issue. I didn't have an issue with it, but I just, to be on the safe side, I can make them. It's not hard, really. Actually, the case gasket's probably the hardest gasket to make on these things. But all in all, hey guys, I just turned you back on real quick because I just want to show you how I'm doing this. Now, this is kind of a recent thing for me with doing it like this, but I'm getting much better results. Now, this is not something new. This is very old. People have done it for a long time. When you really start getting into these motors, it's hard to stay detailed, at least for me, because my fingers are huge in comparison to these motors. So what I started doing now is getting a paintbrush. I just got a cheap set of paintbrushes in the art section at Wally World, and I put my gasket maker or gasket sealer material on with my paintbrush. So you could get a much more precise, you could stay away from the threads, you can get it everywhere and not worry about getting it everywhere. And I know you know what I mean. I just figured I would show you so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Super duper thin coat all the way around, and you use your paintbrush, and it works extremely well to do it. Oh my gosh, it literally went bing, 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 and I found it. Okay, we got one in. I'm not gonna lie, this is something I'm not very good at, is putting these cert clips in. So let me try doing it this way. Maybe I could do this and stay out of my way when I do it. I'll hold it in with this one. Oops. Or I can knock it off the ground and lose it. Oh, you're such a big guy. Oh, do you like being tall? Love it. Fingers are gigantic and I can't do anything with them when it comes to these small, tiny things. It's very frustrating. Oh, yeah, this was a much better way to do it. Went in super easy that time. Awesome. So you, I put it on backwards. Nah, I'm kidding. Something's not happy right there, guys. So, all right. So, set the motor up, got the piston and all that nonsense, got the degree wheel on, got it zeroed out and all that nonsense. So, now let's talk about the good stuff. Before, raised it just, it was pretty flat, and I put the slightest bit of dome on it just so I have a little bit more. I'm trying to get more torque bottom end out of this. So we started at 94, we're now at 92 degrees. So considering I decked everything with the gaskets, I think that's a phenomenal thing. I didn't want to get the exhaust to open any different really, because I was already happy with where it was, but I wanted to get the torque out of it. So considering all the work I just did to this thing with decking it and how much I decked it, you saw the height, it had to be about 2 millimeters, and all the other stuff I did to this, I'm very impressed with myself here. The transfers opened at 132. So I had an exhaust duration of 174. I had a transfer duration of 98, right? I think so. No, hold on, something's not right there. Let me figure this out real quick, so clear that out. We got 38. Sorry, I can't read my writing. No, that's the blowdown. Nope, messed that up too. So,
it's 230 minus 132.
Yeah, I had 98 degree duration in my transfers. Horrible. Okay? Way low. My goal, well, I wrote this all down here when I was doing the measurements. My goal is going to be 120. After I did something without the gaskets, I was at 125. So I'm just going to read you the duration so it's easy here. So the exhaust, I had 174 duration. In transfers, I had a 98 duration. I never read the intake, didn't really care, didn't really change it much. The blowdown, I had 38 degrees of blowdown. That's a lot of blowdown for someone that's not trying to get a high revving motor here. So, and this is basically from the factory. I did do some work to this when I first got it, but it was really just to widen it. So I really didn't mess with the actual heights of these things. So this is where it was. The new measurements, after I decked it, after I ported it, after I really went in there and did some stuff to it, after I ramped the piston for the transfers, all this nonsense that I ended up doing to try to get it where I wanted it. The new measurement, so the exhaust before was 174 duration, we are now at a 177 duration. The higher the exhaust duration, the higher revs you'll get out of it. You know, ballpark, mostly. That's, you know, the rule of thumb. Now, the transfers, that was the big one. That's what I was really trying to figure out and get, because I really wanted that torque out of it. My new duration for the transfers is 120 duration. That's a chain of 22 degrees of change in my transfers. My goal was to get a 120 degrees transfer duration. I hit 120 goal. I cannot believe it. I got it exactly. Blown away, did a really good job, very happy with myself. That's right. Okay, now the intake I measured, it looks like, I don't know if I'm measuring the intake right. This is the first time I ever tried to do an intake. I only measured it on the after, but I didn't really change anything, so it would have been the same on the beginning, except for the new piston with the new skirt, but it's the same as before. 183 degrees, I'm not sure if that's right or not. It looks like 118 it opens after bottom dead center, and it closes at 73 at top dead center, after top dead. So I'm not 100% sure if that's right. Don't quote me on that one. The big number here, the blowdown. My blowdown before was 38 degrees of blowdown. Remember me telling you that? Wanted to get at least into the 20s. I achieved a blowdown of 29 degrees. Mic drop. Cannot wait to put this on and try it. I basically hit the nail right on the head with everything I was trying to achieve. I would have liked to got the blowdown a little bit smaller, but I didn't want to go insane in there. And honestly, this is the first time I ever ramped the piston for the transfers. First time I ever decked a YD this way. This is the first of a lot of things on here. And between the ramping and changing the actual transfers and digging them out, I was able to get the blowdown I wanted. Not the, I would have rather had a 22 or 24 blowdown, to be honest with you. But to get it at 29, get it into the 20s from where this thing was stock, I'm blown away I was able to achieve that. Fixing the exhaust and the transfers all the way around, everything really came out great. I'm super excited about it. Just wanted to touch base because we're at the point where I was able to measure everything now with the squish. Oh, let's actually check that. Let's check the actual squish. I didn't do that part yet. Let's see here. Now it's a little hard to check because I have the ramped whatchamacalls, but I'm gonna try to put it towards where it's not with the ramp part. I still got the ramp for sure, but you can tell, I could already tell just by looking at it, I got the little bit of the ramp where the ramp is, and that is 1.3-ish in that area, 1.5. So I know I am 0.3 thick on the ramp, 0.4 on the ramp. So you take that away, it gives me 0.7 squish. So basically perfect. But this motor has taken a huge transformation. Very excited what we got going on here, and I can't wait to show the rest to you and get it on the bike. Now I don't know what come. But hopefully it's nothing I needed. But usually when something goes flying, it's usually something you need. Okay, anyway, so on today's episode of Johnny's Motorized Bicycles. But today we are going to reassemble my bike. Hey guys, I just slow-moed it and put it on mute real quick so I could tell you what's going on. So you're going to see me put my YD100 I did all that work to on my daily. I ended up having a problem. The squish was wrong. I measured inside of the transfer ramp and I ended up hitting the top of the cylinder with the piston. I lost all that footage like I said, so I wasn't able to show you, and that's why you'll eventually see me take and put this motor on another bike that I talk about and I go get at Anthony's house. But I also lost the footage of where I took that motor I got from Mark and put it on my daily, but I do talk about it later on the ride to Anthony's house. So I just wanted to clarify what exactly is going on and why it looks like I'm going back and forth, but hopefully you can understand and pick it up from here. I don't even know how long ago, it was a while ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, yeah, 3 days probably. I took the motor off of this bike. You saw it, I had a flat tire, and I got sucked into the rabbit hole of wanting to play with it. It's test time, so I'm very excited. I'm really hoping it works, period. It was the first time I ever did some things to this motor. If it doesn't work, I have another motor. I actually was planning on putting a different bike on, for a build series I want to do. I want to do, you know, from out of the box motor to mild port to aggressive port to spacer to all this stuff. Just a whole bunch of options on what an average Joe person like me can do with their bike with just their own hands and hand tools. You know, I really want to show what's doable and all that, and what you could do literally in your bedroom, like me. Okay, air filter's on. I had a little leak in the carburetor. Basically, the float was stuck because I had it sitting for like whatever, a week, let's say, not doing nothing. So a little tap on the bowl, good to go.
Hey guys, this is just a real quick overview from a video I shot on my other phone. I lost all the footage that actually went to when the motor blew up and breaking it down, except for this clip I had on my other phone. So this is actually Anthony's new bike, a little too much watt. But we do get it fixed. This is the motor you keep asking about, the one where I put up the short with the split cylinders. So it will be coming to the channel soon, just not yet. Had to wait for the parts to come in.
So that's very bad.
Keep watching and we'll see what happens.
In here, if we look ever so carefully, the cylinder wall is scored real bad. So that too is bad. So we need a piston, rings, and cylinder. And I am gonna have to do all that work all over again. On the plus side, the reed valve is in perfect condition.
Okay guys, you guys are on. I also have my microphone plugged in because I'm about to take an actual ride. I don't know if it works yet. I haven't been able to listen back to the footage that I recorded the other day, just testing it out. But I need to go pick up my bike over my buddy's house, the 80cc with the 4mm spacer. I want to use that actual bike as a test mule for the 80cc, or for my 100cc I just finished. I don't want, because the 80cc, Heather was riding it, and the I think the bottom end crank is blowing out, the bearings. I put that motor through heck before I decided to do all that. That's why it was in the scrap pile, kind of, because it was just, I beat the ever-living piss out of it, and it's showing its age at the very present moment. She was riding it, came home, and like, I don't know what's wrong, but it's making some weird noises. Yeah, well, yeah, blew the bottom end out, but whatever. So, until I know that the YD100 that I'm putting on, I want to put back on here is good, because of all the major work I did to it. I don't want to take this off and then put that on and back and forth, because that's a real bugger. And before I switch everything out, I want to make sure the YD is good before I take and switch it out to this one and stuff. And then when the YD is good, I can put it on here. I could take this 80, put it on there, and do all my testing like that. So I'm hoping the microphone doesn't pick up a bunch of chatter, if it is even working, because I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to put it with my helmet so you guys can hear me, but I have it right below where the helmet picks up stuff, I'm hoping. So we'll see. It's a learning process. Always learning, guys. Everything's locked up, everything's good to go. All right, we're just going to Anthony's house, pick up that bike, and then we're gonna head right back here. Oh, for reference though too, last time I rode this bike, this is the 80cc I'm doing porting to, or gonna do the porting to, it was acting stupid. So just now I went fatter to see how it would act. It didn't like it. Way worse performance. So I went as lean as possible. It got a little better. I'm having a little drip of fuel here and there at the very bottom of the carb. I'm noticing the idle screw seems to wiggle. I think there's an air leak in the actual carburetor, so I need another carburetor. I can't tune this properly unless I get another carburetor. So I have them, I just gotta put it on. But this way you guys know what's going on. This way you guys have a heads up on what exactly I'm doing. With this, I want you guys to be completely brought in and filled in the whole time with this motor. So there's no questions about anything. And, you know, I want to bring you along the whole process. Oh, I clicked the clutch button by accident. Okay, let's go. I don't know if this is going to pick up wind. I'm
assuming it might because the wind is blowing right there. I think I gotta put the microphone in my helmet, but I'm not 100% sure yet. It's still feeling this out and seeing how it works. I really don't know. I never had a microphone. Thanks again, Dark Matter. Going for it. Wait, I'm away from these cars. Maybe I can get to the other side. I don't necessarily want to ride on the road the whole way there. I'd rather take the sidewalk. Just because this section of road is really bad. At least I think it's really bad. Boy, it's beautiful out today, guys. It is beautiful out. Sitting here behind me. Go past me, man. You're throwing me off here. There we go. I'm gonna get on this sidewalk here. This ride's all the way up to the road I want to take. So now we're safe. I don't mind that road too much if I'm giving it the beans, but I'm not giving this motor the beans. I haven't went wide open throttle yet with this motor. I just don't trust it yet. You know, it's still new. Thanks for moving, bro. Man, I can't stand people. Some people are just unbelievable, boy. But that hole is getting worse. Yeah, I haven't given this motor the beans yet. I went through one full tank. I think I went through a tank and a half. It should be broken in by now. So I really can get on it. That's why I want to switch out the motor to the other. I don't want to yell. Jason's picking it up really good. So that's why I want to switch it out to the other bike, because I want to do the testing. I want to take it off soon and start doing the work to it. I want to do it in stages so you guys can see what each thing does and how it affects, because it's going to teach me something too, because I honestly don't know. I've never seen it with my own eyes, but that's why I want to put it on my other bike, because this is my daily, and I don't want, for a project like this, I don't want to have to be taking it apart, doing the work, rushing to do the work just so I can get back and ride my bike. I'd rather just have it ready to go on a different bike completely, so it just is what it is. Yeah, I mean, to go up that hill right there, I was only half throttle, because I learned that going full throttle does not make much difference. Well, I didn't even realize it. Look, it tipped over. I weigh so much, I didn't even know that it just did that. I looked in the shadow that was casting over there, and I saw a wheel on top, the whole entire wheel. I should only see like the top of the wheel in the shadow from where the sun's hitting right there. And I saw the whole wheel, I was like, what? Yeah, I never really gave it the beans, and we're broken in. Let's give it some beans, right? This thing's a dog though, honestly. Like, this motor is definitely set up to just be bottom end grunt. There is no top end to this thing at all. If I raise the exhaust port only on this motor, we'll get so much more performance out of it. And that's the kind of stuff I want to do. I want to do little by little, sneak up on it. But I was pinned there. I can't go totally pinned because my pin's coming out on my handle, so the whole bar twists now, unfortunately. So I got to put a new grip on. But for the most part, I was pinned as far as I could go. Because if I go 100% full throttle, I start twisting the handle. So I'm above 3/4, but like a hair below full throttle so I don't twist my grip. There we go, downhill. Gonna obviously judge it off of this completely, because like I said, I'm pretty positive I have an air leak in my carburetor. Not 100%, but it's another reason why I don't want to really get on it like that, because there's just no point. I'll just hurt it, and I'm not trying to hurt this motor. I'm trying to be super fair and legit for anybody else that's out there buying one of these. But yeah, I definitely think there's an air leak somewhere. I saw the idle screw, I told you I saw the idle screw wiggling kinda when I was trying to tighten it in with just my nail. I was using my thumbnail to tighten it, and I saw it wiggling, so something's not right somewhere. I also have a drip of fuel coming. I think the gasket was pushing out. This one has a cork gasket, which I don't like, but it's okay. I just gotta go through it. I'll probably just throw a whole nother carburetor on, to be honest with you. Which way is the hospital? So we definitely want to be that way, right? No, that's the, we want to go this way. Down just a wee bit too far. That's all right. Ooh. Here's a long, gradual hill. I'm gonna give it some throttle. It's slowly gaining a little bit. That's about it right there. That's all it's got. Twisted the throttle, no reason to keep pushing it if it's not going. Like I said, there's an issue with the carburetor, I think, because I can't get the idle to be exact. It's very temperamental, like a hair this way and it revs up high, hair down, it revs up. Now you can see though, it revs down slowly, not as quick as I think it should be. So it's a small air leak, but any air leak and you're not getting your bike tuned. It's just not gonna happen. You can hear, like right there, you can hear it's like struggling. It wants to go more. But you can tell it's fighting itself. But again, this is a motor, completely stock. I didn't do anything. It was a part when I got it from Mark, so I just assembled it, and I made sure whatever I saw that was open was clean. I did not go into the crankcase or anything like that. So basically, I wanted it to be like I took it out of the box and I put it on the bike, just like 90% of you guys are gonna do. And you're gonna be like, oh, this is fun, but not as fun as I think it could be. And then you're gonna watch my video and you're gonna be like, boom, that's how we do it. I got a very similar motor, let's do that. Let's start with this. Yeah, you can hear it. It could definitely be better. Okay. Oh. And there goes that. Let's get our keys. How are we looking on battery? Almost dead. You're probably gonna die before I get this all apart, but that's okay. We're just picking up the bike. Yeah, I've acquired some bikes in the past little bit here, and this is gonna be my new test mule because it seems like the battery died pretty quick, or is dying pretty quickly. So I'm hoping that means that the microphone's working because it's sucking up more battery, right? That makes sense. This is good. Once I get this bike situated, I'll be able to come in here and get her bike. And then once I get her bike, I'll be able to go through the rest of the bikes and clean this all up. Beautiful. You can hear it clicking. At least I can hear it click. Oh, there's no. Okay. Come here, let me talk to you. Perfect. Putting this thing in here was such a good idea. It made towing bikes so much easier. I mean, immensely easier. There we go. Nice. I'll just toss this in here. Put this one there, I guess, just so it doesn't bounce out. That will work. Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to hop in here and tell you thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate it. We're getting close to 650 subs, so that's freaking awesome. Still want to hit the 1,000 before the year anniversary, which is about 2 months away. So as always, guys, if you could hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. If you could, you get a chance, if you could go down and hit the subscribe button. YouTube really likes that. And more than anything for me, if you could, I'd appreciate it if you would drop me a line down in the comments and just say what you're doing, what you're building, what you're breaking. What you had for dinner, I don't care, just talk. I just enjoy the conversation and talking to everybody. So, also, if you could, go to Johnny's Motorized Bicycles on Facebook and continue the conversation over there. My messenger's linked and you can drop me a line and join that and join friends and whatnot like that. That'd be awesome too. It's free to join. Also for that, I have a link down in the description. So head over to the description and check out the links I have for the Facebook account, the group, and also have a link for Mark's YouTube channel and Anthony's YouTube channel. I couldn't do any of this without you, and there's other links for TikTok and everything else down there, emails and whatnot. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I look forward to talking to you later. Peace.